Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bacon Bits. It's definitely been a while, and I'd like to apologize for that just a little bit. I know there was a bit of a unintentional hiatus between episodes 1 and 0. That's only just because I've been absolutely busy, but we're not here to talk about and get into unintentional hiatuses. I am actually here with today's episode about internet nostalgia and Flash games and how much I miss them so much. So, jumping right into the episode, I'd have to say that there is quite a bit of, talk for back in the day. I'd say 2000s. The 2000s were a time when there was like a sort of I guess the 1990s all the way to the 2000s was a kind of a big boom for the internet. You know, we started getting out of the early age of when the internet was, starting to come to homes and was kind of used for other purposes and stuff. And it was around that time when we had home computers and we were exploring the internet, just kind of getting the hang of it and stuff. Not necessarily towards like I guess like later down the line, like the decade when we were kind of in the teenage era of the internet, where we started using it for social media and we knew its capabilities. And we kind of knew how to get around the digital block. But the 2000s and around that early 2000s era was kind of like a sort of like a cornerstone for when Flash games were being made, and when we were having we had a whole slew of greatly made Flash games, ranging from websites that were Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon to some of the more, I would say, lesser known, or probably like if they were in any way popular, like Ancon Arcade. That one was a big one for me, just because I remember visiting that website a whole bunch when I was a lot younger, and I was exploring the cornerstones of the internet. And that was kind of those websites were just they were a lot of they just had a lot of smash hit of like Flash games, because I mean with Ancon Arcade, that introduced me to a lot of games that I can just think off the top of my head. Fancy Pants Adventure. There was this point and click one that was like in the style of a South Park game called Ray, but I played Ray Part 2. I don't think I ever found or got around to playing the first part. And there was Balloons Tower Defense was a classic one. There was Stickman War. There was I forgot the name of the website, but I think it was called like Stick Page or something. It was Stick Page, and it had a whole bunch of like Stickman related like games and stuff. I remember there was like a fucking one where you got to control like an army, and it was, you got to have like different factions and stuff. You got to have like Spartans, or like normal knights. You got to have giants. It was a whole slew of thing, but kind of not getting into a whole lot of that because my nostalgia will run rampant if we were here all day. But those websites, were something special to me, and I think they were special to a lot of people that were playing those games back in the day. And it was all thanks to the Flash player, or at least the Flash player that was present in those years. Flash Player was a program developed to have these small-time developers that made these Flash games be able to have people to play them. And while unfortunately that they were, it kind of brought on a lot of like trouble, because there was a lot of security problems that Flash had, especially in its late year, like right around the time before it completely stopped, which we'll get into in a bit. But the Flash player was sort of it was a program, a way to play these Flash games, and for it to be possible to be playing Flash games. While it has been, I think, oh boy, I need to like really, yeah, it's been since December 31st, 2020, because I just looked it up. It has been, I think, 4 years since the Flash player has like fully like died out. Like that was the 22. That date was the last time. Was the date that Flash player got shut down, and while it is gone and it's no longer able to be like, you can't. There's no point in restoring it anymore. There are possible ways that you could play Flash games. For example, Ruffle is an open source emulator built in by a former Newgrounds employee, mind you, and it makes it possible to play these Flash games without having the said security problems that I just mentioned before. And while Ruffle only has so many Flash games, it doesn't like catalog the entire like lesser known kind of Flash games that were out there at the time, but there have been a handful that have been saved, and very great ones too. So in a way, the Flash player has kind of seen its fall and then its rebirth, its revitalization through emulation, which valiant effort on emulation, because emulation is quite a very interesting like way to kind of play games on on means that are not like conventional, mind you. But getting down to like the root of things here, having Flash games present within like the time when I was personally playing those Flash games, and when I was like, I always kept coming back to them. There was a lot of charm to these Flash games that there were a way to play games when you just didn't feel like playing on your home console, or maybe you didn't have a home console at the time. I know during that time, a lot of people, I don't, in the early 2000s, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the 360 or the PS3 had come out yet. I think everybody was still on the original Xbox and the PS2. I could be wrong though. I think no, yeah, no, because I remember the PlayStation 3 came out in like the late 2000s, the mid to late 2000s. But yeah, no, that was a way for people to play that type of stuff, and it doesn't just it's not just those Flash games you found on Cartoon Network, the old Cartoon Network site, God rest its digital soul, but it also kind of transcends to a lot of like the sort of the MMO kind of type games. I don't think you can play anymore. Club Penguin, Pop Tropica was a big one. I know I'm dropping some big names here. And yeah, other than those, I can just come off the top of my head. Yeah, those were a way for people to connect. And I don't think you could play those anymore. I know Pop Tropica is, at least I don't know about Pop Tropica. I know Club Penguin had shut its servers down. I'm not sure, but maybe that's just me misremembering like the thing. I'm just gonna like kind of look it up a bit. But no, yeah, there's a lot of charm to those games, and they were so like well made too, and it's just like they were just so great. Oh yeah, I just looked it up. It had the original Club Penguin shut down all the way in 2017. Wow. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I would always be going back to those games just because they were like so fun. There was I think the best Flash game that I don't think you can no longer play, or I've never seen anybody talk about it, was a game where it was based. It was on CartoonNetwork.com back when it had like a slew of Flash games, and it was based on the I think it was Megas XLR, and it was you got to control the big robot, and you got to just like I think it was like just a side scroller beat 'em up, but it was like pretty cool because I do remember. And correct me, anybody who's played this Flash game and knows exactly which one I'm talking about. But I do remember you could, I think, turn into a car. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Another fun one that I've played was oh my god, it was challenging too. It was Codename Kids Next Door, but you play as number two, the chubby fella, and you had like these little wings, and you would just like go around the stage, and you would like be you would fly around and try to like it's almost like it's not a platformer per se, but it's like it was just as challenging as a platformer because it was you really had to not take a lot of damage. Otherwise, if you take enough, obviously you take enough hits. I think you only take 3 before you're like done, and you have to restart the level, which is so fucking annoying. But yeah, there was that, and then there was if I can remember another good one. Oh, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It was a very fun Flash game where you were playing as fuck, I'm gonna fucking forget their names because look, I apologize because I haven't watched the show at all or recently. Like I just had forgotten their names now, but you played as Eduardo, Coco, I think is her name, the bird looking one that just kind of Coco, like she just speaks like that. And then there's like the big tall fella, the big tall red fella. You played as those three, and you would just pass Blue around while you're getting chased by one of the characters who's like this really annoying, bratty character, this girl. And it was just like you had to play keep away from her with like be with Blue as the one that you're playing keep away. And you have to do that until like Mac comes home, and that was like a pretty fun one. Oh, okay, last one. I swear to God, I'm not trying to push the episode time a lot more, but kind of, yes. There was a platforming game based on my gym partner's monkey show cartoon. And it was really fun because you got to play as the main character, Jake, and you would just go around and you would you platform and go to the school, and it's essentially just like a big platforming level. You got to climb up cool things. It was really cool. It was like so thought out, and I remember like the levels like spanned like all of the places in the school, and it was cool. It was really well made. The background arts and the mechanics of the platforming were like really kind of a little too thought out for a Flash game, mind you. But yeah. All right, I'm done talking about some of the favorite Flash games. There were some just popped in my head. But yeah, I kind of want to hear, if anybody's down there, if anybody, loves, the charm of the Flash games and how well thought out they were. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have any Flash games that you so dearly remember, because I would love to hear and read any comment that you guys put out there, because it really does like, it's nice to hear from other people who have had similar experiences about sort of, when they were going through like the early 2000s and they were experiencing these Flash games and stuff. But yeah, I genuinely and fondly remember those times when Flash games were like in abundance. Like you had so much, you were at a buffet and you had the whole smorgasbord of Flash games to play, and and now that it's all gone, well, a good chunk of it's all gone and stuff. I like to fondly and dearly remember that time being a time where you just could you just go up, turn on the computer, log in, play that classic Windows XP or Windows 95, whatever that login sound, and you were blasting off to cyberspace. But yeah, those were some pretty good times, some pretty fun games, and I genuinely missed that time a lot. while it is just kind of like the hope in me saying that like maybe it could come back one day, some way, shape, or form. I kind of doubt it because I don't really see like I think Flash games were of their own. They were truly from like their own era and stuff, and they were up there, man. Truly, just uh like they were gems of their time is what I mean. So yeah, those were that's my experience with like the internet nostalgia and the Flash games that I so dearly miss. Like I said, if you guys are listening and there are some there's a Flash game you just really want to geek out about in the comments, please leave it below because I'd like to read them. I'd like to read your experiences. Other than that, I think we have. I think this is a little bit of a wrap up time here on Bacon Bits. Thank you everybody for listening to my ramblings about the Flash games and the internet, the little bit of the internet nostalgia, a little slice of my internet nostalgia. You can you can go follow me on Instagram or Twitter at WeirdMagicPiggy. All there, you hit that like, subscribe to Pixelham, the big channel here, and do tune in next time. If I do hope to get around to doing another episode as soon as possible, join me next time where I talk about one of my favorite comics, and probably yours too, because you've been listening to the adaptation that I've been making. I Hate Fairyland. I'll be talking about it on the next episode. All right. Hope you all have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.